Hello, my name is Latricia Renee, and welcome to my first actual video in some years now. First off, I am using Procreate for this. I used to use Photoshop, but unfortunately I no longer have that. I've been using Procreate for a little while now, and I'm starting to get used to it, but not fully. Here I am using the Procreate pencil, is what it's called. All the brushes that I use in here are the standard ones that come with Procreate. I do have a couple others downloaded, but I don't use them for this piece. So what inspired today's piece is actually I was going through my old Pinterest inspiration board, and I was getting a lot of nostalgia and feels for all of the pieces that I had saved earlier and kind of remembering back when I had saved them. This piece I chose was inspired by a picture of a girl with stars for freckles. Not exactly unique in this day and age. It's kind of a cliche at this point, but I thought it was something nice and simple that I could do for my first foray back into YouTube. As to why I stopped working on YouTube in the first place, I have a video posted about it where I make some vague mentions, but basically I was having some health issues. I didn't know what they were at the time. As of now, I have been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And I've got medication that seems to work for it, so I think I'm ready to get back in the saddle. Now, here I'm noticing that there's just something a little bit off about my piece, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. I start by lowering her hairline, which helps, but there's still something wrong with the face, and I'm working on it, and I just can't put my finger on what's wrong with her face. And I get all the way into the inking stage before I realize it. So let's see if you can guess what it is before I did. I really like the way that this piece turned out. I haven't been drawing as frequently lately due to depression, lack of inspiration, that sort of thing. I do notice that when I take a break from drawing, usually due to depression, when I come back to it, it's always a little awkward, a little, it's just, I feel like I'm not quite at the skill level that I was before. So the fact that this piece turned out reasonably well, especially once I figured out what that issue with the face is, I'm really happy with it. These eyelashes do not make it into the inked drawing. I don't know what it is, but I have the hardest time getting eyelashes to look right, so I just ended up forgoing it in this piece, which I do in a lot of pieces actually. I just can't seem to get them to look natural. Just making some minor adjustments here, still trying to figure out what exactly is the problem with this face. And each adjustment, I like it a little bit better, but it's still not solving what I think is the root of the problem. See, I'm even messing with the nose now, trying to do an upturned nose, but I also find that I can't really do upturned noses all that well without reference, and I didn't have reference for this piece, so I just went back to my standard way of doing noses, which probably is a little amateurish. I do think I need to up my nose game a little bit. For inking, I'm using Procreate's brush Tinderbox. I used to use syrup a lot, which I like because of the smoothing capabilities. But Tinderbox I decided to use because it's got a bit of a texture to it. And what I like about textured brushes is that it's a lot easier to go back over a line that you did and kind of fix it up a little bit, which a smooth brush like syrup doesn't really. It's really easy to see where you've erased or tried to join lines together, that sort of thing. So that's why I prefer a nice textured brush. Now this video is going to be only the sketch and inking portions. I decided to cut this video up so that I don't have to speed it up quite so much. One of the things that I didn't like about doing videos in the past is trying to get a shorter video time, but so that you guys don't have to sit there forever. But also I didn't like speeding up the drawing quite so much because I feel like you lose a lot from it. So I decided to cut this up, and I'll be doing the coloring in a part 2. I was really excited about the coloring for this one too because I tried a new technique, but I'll talk about that more in part 2. So for the moon here, I'm using the Procreate's ability to draw perfect circles. It took me the longest time to figure out how to do circles in Procreate, and I'm so glad that they do have a way, because I don't think they had this in earlier versions, but I might just not have known about it. Because one of the things that I really miss about Photoshop is the circle tool, the ability to make perfect circles so easily, and this is actually not too bad either. Hair. So hair is yet another issue that I have. I really need to practice how I draw hair. I think I get some of the concept of how to do hair in sections and chunks, basically. But at the same time, trying to figure out how to actually draw it so that it looks nice, especially curly or wavy hair, I don't know. It just seems a little bit beyond me. I do really like the way her part turned out, though. When I do know what to do with hair, I do like adding the lines that give it sort of a texture and volume. So here we are. I finally figured out her eyes were just way too close together. So I pulled them apart a little bit, and bam, suddenly I like this picture a lot more. I was considering scrapping it up to this point because I just couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, and I didn't like looking at her face. But I like it now. It really gave the piece new life. Anyway, so that's about it for today. Go ahead and comment, like, subscribe, all that goodness. Actually, what I really like most is if you would comment, because I love hearing from you guys, just knowing that you're out there and that I'm not talking to a brick wall. Thank you.